Hello, welcome to your Sunday strap seminar. Today we are working with crescent lunge, the bound revolved crescent lunge. And I want to show you two different ways to use the strap. Sometimes, we're in like a flow class and things are moving a little quicker, and other times we're in a slower type class like a hatha, and you can really take your time. I mean, we always want to take our time, but we have more time to set up if that is the case. So go ahead and create an accountable loop, right? So remember, that's just so that it locks in place and it is a little bit wider than shoulder distance. If you have trouble taking your arm behind your back, right? So my fingertips are here on the other side of my waist. If that is difficult for your shoulder, then this loop is going to need to be wider. And that's because, if your hand is going to like the small of your back or even just right wrist to right waist, we want to be able to have enough of a loop that we can, enough length of the loop that we can grab it. So if we're in a kneeling position, I'm going to do the right foot forward, left knee is back. Okay, take that loop and step through the loop with your right foot. So now that loop is resting here on your thigh. We want to use the right arm to then pull the strap, right? Because we're trying to create this bind that allows us to fully rotate to the right from the belly. So right leg forward, left hand, hold on to the strap, take your right arm behind your back and take the left hand to the right hand so that you can now hold on to that strap. Then we've got the leg in place with the knee in line with the hip. We've got a good bind with the right arm around that strap. Then you can hook left elbow to the outside of your thigh. Now, a lot of places where people get tripped up is, what are we doing with this arm? Well, we're going to straighten the elbow and then make sure that your palm is facing in so that you can go underneath the thigh to grab a hold of that strap. The other spot that makes the bind more difficult, if you look at my right shoulder, it is collapsed in. Everything's sort of collapsing into my chest, into my thigh. But we want external rotation of that right shoulder. So if you roll it back, then all of a sudden the chest lifts and you actually have more ability to cinch up a little tighter. And we've got space between the belly of the chest and that left arm. And we could even work the right knee into the left armpit if we go deeper. So this is a great spot to start. You're in a kneeling, bound, revolved crescent lunge. And then, of course, if you want to go further, you can always lift that back knee. That'll give you more of the balance aspect. So that is one version of it. The second version is to not worry about this loop. I'm just going to take it out because oftentimes when we're in class, we don't already have it bound. And then I'm also just going to switch legs just for balance in my own body. We'll start in the kneeling position. Bring the strap behind your back. And this isn't super important where it's resting. The important part is where the tail on the inside of the leg goes. So my left leg is forward. That means we've got one tail on the right side, and we want to swing that through onto the ground underneath your leg. Then you'll hook your right arm first. Okay, so when we did the circle, when we had the loop, we bound the arm behind the back first. This time we're going to bind the bottom arm first. So we lean forward, hook the elbow with a tricep to the outside of the thigh, straighten the arm, and then come down to grab a hold of that strap. You can then use your left hand, just like I did, to grab a hold so that you come tighter, and then work your hand underneath your thigh towards your pelvis. Okay, now that right or left arm can come behind your back and hold on to the strap. So even if these tails, let's kind of shorten this up a little bit. Even if that loop or that strap ring, rather, not loop, drops, it's okay. You can hold on to it with your hand. Oop, I lost my strap. And then, take your time. Get into that bind under the leg and around your back. Then we lift the chest, rotate. Okay, so this is just a kneeling square lunge, but you can always tuck the back toes and lift the knee to rotate. So now you're in that full bound revolve crescent lunge. And sometimes we drop the strap. I just did it. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you are a terrible yogi at binding. It just means that we drop the strap. So take your time, and remember that bottom arm, we straighten it, the palm is facing in, and we always want to try and cinch together. But then even more important is, what are you doing with your shoulders? So if we're always collapsed in, it makes it so much more difficult than if we were to roll the shoulder down the back so that we could take the arm behind the back. And we've got all this space to lean into that bound arm. So give it a shot. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can drop them in the comments below, or you can reach out to me directly, and I'll see you soon.